Oh, I do have a question.
Shoot.
So I have been feeling a lot of electricity in my feet. And I've been
Okay.
trying to figure out why. So the past couple months, I've been trying to figure out why. And I went back and back and back about like, when did this start? What is this? I don't and I tried to ask Kimberly about it.
Hmm.
And I realized that I'm pretty sure. So here's the connection with you and I. I'm pretty sure this started after when we were at the Disclosure Fest and I'm gonna say you did your little thing that you you did on me. You
Oh
gave me a
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah, yeah.
sample.
I remember you sat down and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think it kind of started back then. So I think you opened a can of worms or something for me. And do you know that after you did that, 5 days later, I broke up with him.
Beautiful. Well, we're gonna
And
get that shit
so,
permanent now.
Yeah, it's a hot day. I'm hanging in the
You're
sunshine.
feeling drawn to do this reconnection, huh?
yeah. So, well, I'll go ahead and tell you because Kimberly doesn't, which is crazy to me. Kimberly doesn't believe it or understand. She doesn't understand it. So she doesn't
Hmm.
really believe it. But I don't know your feelings on, I'm in a twin flame connection.
Mm.
And I've been on the journey since 2017. It's when my awakening started because of my twin flame.
Hmm.
And it's been a very brutal journey to say the least. The past year I've been really, really working on myself. I broke up with him and we were still trying to like work on things, but it was still it's just really it's hard. I would never wish it on anybody. Um and along the past year I've come across some really good twin flame coaches, really good. And then the one recently, I think I found her in December. Amazing, amazing. I've never had this experience with a twin flame coach. And it was truly about, it's nothing to do with that other person. It's all about me getting through all my childhood, all my wounds, just ripping the inside of me of trying to find out who I am. And that this is all an energy connection, not a physical connect, not a 3D, it's a 5D connection. It's about working with my own energy, my own soul, and it's been life changing for me because I
Beautiful.
found me. And apparently that's what I knew that's what this journey was. I could just never get deep enough to truly understand or resonate with it. So this coach program I've been doing, um, like I said, has been life changing for me. And she's all about work with your soul, work with your soul. Everything's about your soul. Don't like forget about them. And I have, and it, like I said, it's changed me so much. But I feel, I know I never, it's one of those things, you know how soul is just like people throw buzzwords out, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, but I can't explain it. And it
Hmm.
took me a long time to even get there to like, what is a soul? What am I as a soul? And she's very much a believer in you're an energetic being. It's what like you've been saying is, or however long you've been saying it is, we're all energetic beings. It's about knowing our true self as a soul. It's not about our 3D image, our vessel. And that's the first time I've ever had anybody say that in the twin flame community.
I didn't even know they had twin flame coaches. Like,
Oh yeah, I've spent a lot of money over the past 8 years. A
wow,
lot. It's
wow,
it's a
wow, wow.
huge community, but I think in all fairness, I think what happens is we're all kind of learning to it's like a wave, we're all kind of learning together. So I've
Hmm.
seen the progression, but I've also been guided to these coaches recently that like in the past year where it's so much different. Everybody else in the community deals on the 3D level,
Yeah,
and that got me nowhere.
I've had so many people mention that over the last decade. It never works out, dude. It's like
Yeah.
it's the lesson underneath that. It's what they come to show you about yourself.
Yeah.
And until you realize it's an energetic thing between you, and it should be a lesson.
And that was the thing. It's so difficult because I've experienced the energy. So like these coaches, they believe that if you do the work, that your other self in the physical is what do you call it? Like they do come back in a different manner once you do your own work. Most people don't get to the level that, and I don't mean that in the wrong way, because I never have, but to the level that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Um, we just don't it in doing it with the 5D instead of the 3D. And I've seen the energy work the past year. It is crazy when I've kind of gotten there and worked on myself and worked just my energy. He comes back in a different manner, but he doesn't stay. And it's because I can see that with this new coach, I can see the unraveling and the unraveling,
Hmm.
and the more and more and more that it's not about us, it's about me. But the energy pulls him. It's a push pull,
Totally.
and I have absolutely seen when I really did deep energy work, he comes in, and then when I go back to the 3D connection, it pushes him away. So I
Yeah.
really have seen in the past year the energy work push and pull. Um, but it really is. It's about learning my core wounds about like abandonment, rejection, not loving myself, not putting myself first. And that's what I'm truly working on right now is me as a soul. But the theory is that we're two bodies with a split soul. And that's why the push pull,
What do you
the
mean
push to the
split
pull.
soul? Split soul.
So
I mean, you're
so the
not dealing with half a soul.
no, but the theory is, I knew this before I even ever heard of a twin flame, is that when we can't we've been the same soul for many lifetimes, and then on this lifetime that our soul was split into two bodies.
What do you
And
mean you've been the same soul? Like you're both aspects of the same oversoul?
so that's where I'm trying to understand because I don't know if I feel like I've had many, many lifetimes with him.
Hmm.
Um, And I feel like in the lifetimes that I can remember, we were two physical bodies too. But so my understanding is just that we're a shared soul. It's 11:11 on my clock.
Wait.
I just looked over. We have one soul. So basically, what they try to tell you is that you're one soul, you're one energetic field that
Hmm.
we both share, and that's why the constant push pull. We've been in each other's lives for 30 plus years,
Hmm.
and we cannot stay away from each other. And um, we've been back together off and on for the past 15 years.
Hmm.
And when I was like, I'm done with this shit. What is this crap?
Hmm.
I need to leave him. This was like 13 years ago.
Hmm.
And I remember telling my mom, like I was done. And I remember telling my mom, I'm like, oh my God, anchor me, hold on to me because I'm literally getting like there's
I
like a
can't
magnet and
resist.
I can't like I'm being pulled back to him and I don't want that.
Yep.
And so I started having all the words, but my awakening didn't happen until 2017 with him. So it was like many years of trying to figure out what the hell is this? It's just bizarre. But yeah, so the theory is that we share the same soul, and that's what I have a hard time understanding. Um, I resonate with it absolutely because I can only explain the feelings that I have.
Hmm.
Like we definitely are. What's that? Like we have telepathic connection.
Hmm.
We have always text at the same time about the same thing. I mean, it's crazy the connection that way. I can't explain it. And it's something that I've wanted to end this thing for 13 years.
Hmm.
And I just get pulled like we're magnets. And
You think that's because you haven't learned the lesson or what?
it's
I mean,
everybody in the community says the same thing. It's just that we're the same soul. So, of course, our souls want to be together. It's just that the 3D
I,
us can't.
yeah.
Well, I'm still learning the lesson. The only reason I can agree with it is because I've dealt with it and I can't explain it in any other
Hmm.
way, except for that it's for my awakening. This journey is for me. He's the tool that's used,
Hmm.
and I have seen the good when I am in my what do you want to call it? When I don't need him, when my energy is good and I'm doing things for myself and on my own, and you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um,
It's like the
it,
universe is testing you. Here he
yeah,
comes back in. Are
yeah.
you sure you've changed?
Yeah. And so we're
Because
good for a little bit, but then I start going into the I need him to validate me, and then
yeah,
it starts pushing him
that's
away.
not.
So that's why I've seen like I see the energy between us. The other thing too is like when we're together, I'm not joking, and this is the other thing, but before this is all before I even knew about twin flames, is that when we touch each other, um, when he touches me or whatever, I feel electricity. And I kept like, use at me. Or when we are like laying in bed, it's so weird. It's like it's home. And I feel like my body's being recharged, like a phone being recharged.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Somebody gave a good example of how to explain the whole two souls. It's like saying that him and I are iPhones and we're both connected to the iCloud. So like the source is the iCloud and then our physical bodies. Um, but I've struggled with this time is because I'm working on the soul level now, and that's the first time I've ever necessarily really done that and understood that. Um, I don't truly know me as a soul or me as an energetic being. So that's what I'm struggling with because I know that I'm being guided by my soul and I know that I'm supposed to be getting messages or nudges. And
Hmm.
I feel like I'm so closed off because I don't understand it.
Okay. Okay.
And so that's kind of why I was wanting to do the reconnection because I know that there's something there. I just don't resonate well enough with the soul to do what I need to do, I guess, for myself.
Okay. Do you want to know my interpretation of what's possibly happening?
Yeah.
That is another aspect of your oversoul. It's not like your soul is divided into two. It's
Hmm.
like you are a part of this bigger thing that they're a part of, and they came to teach you some serious lessons. I mean, eventually we're going to bump into each other. There will be this undeniable attraction, and they are going to be this perfect mirror for you on
Hmm.
what you're dealing with.
For sure. Like he definitely is a mirror, but I 1000% would back and only because of I'm the only one that can feel it and I see it and I have not wanted to be in this relationship or with this person for 13 years. Is that I don't want to be this person. I don't like his personality. Like it's crazy. I cannot
Yeah.
explain.
Yeah, no,
It's
I get you.
brutal.
I
Yeah,
totally get you.
it's
So the goal, your goal is to not to make this work. Your goal is to break free and
mhm.
to learn the lesson and to become the Michelle that you deserve to be, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so it's not to rekindle this, right?
No, it's
Good,
for
because
me.
that's
Yeah.
not gonna work, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like you just told me that for 13 years you've wanted to break free from this irresistible magnetism to this
Yeah.
person that puts you through shit. So,
Hmm.
okay, so you're done. Well, dude, you're at the right place.
Oh,
Because
good.
you're at the right place. Back to that one point you said that you don't feel connected to your soul, like you're not getting the information. Probably you're not hearing and trusting
Oh,
it.
so I have to tell you this a lot. Kimberly and I are really connected,
Mm-hmm.
and it is crazy, crazy, crazy. We call it our guides.
Mm-hmm.
What they do to validate like what I'm not hearing. Like I'll get a little nugget, and Kimberly will text me something, and I'm like, are you shitting me,
To
girl? I'm like,
reaffirm.
and I told her the other day because our synchronicities are insane. We joke that our guides just there and laugh at us, but I told her I said, thank God I have such a good psychic in my repertoire because I don't hear it, and they're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, we got to go tell Kimberly because she'll get her the message,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she
yeah, yeah.
does.
Like this,
Mhm.
this is reminding me of my mom and my stepdad. And they had this crazy toxic relationship. And my mom, they would separate. And then my mom, who was an alcoholic, she'd quit drinking. And whenever she didn't drink, she would flourish. I mean, she was a fucking ray of sunshine, dude, to everybody she met.
Uh-huh.
And then it happened for decades. And then she like go over to pick up my brother who's being watched by him. And he's like, hey, you want a drink? And she'd take that drink and it
Uh,
spiral out of control. It
mhm.
hit the bottom. And then and I watched that cycle over and over. And I was just like, oh my God, dude, can't you see how unhealthy this is? And it
Yeah.
literally took him dying for her to break free from that cycle. So
Yeah, it's
I
crazy because we do have good times and now looking back, I mean like it's when it's good, it's really good and I see it's when I don't need him. And as soon as my insecurities start peaking up,
yes,
he
yes,
makes my insecurities worse
of
and
course.
then and then it plummets for us.
Yep.
Like so I see the back and the like so now knowing it's a 5D energy connection,
Yeah,
not the
this is
3D.
beyond this life.
Oh, for
This is
sure.
yeah, this is you guys are working out karma from many lives, and
Yes.
we are going to nip this shit in the
That
butt.
would be great because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
horrific.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like I said, I would not wish this. I mean, I have cried more this past year than my entire life because I'm like, why do I have this? Why is this me? I don't want to be this anymore. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, legit, I have not wanted to be a twin flame. I'm like, why am I being punished? And it's funny because this new coach or this new program that I'm in, she keeps saying is like, this journey is to teach you that it's not a punishment. You're really blessed
The
with
lesson, yeah, it's a
the
beautiful.
lesson. When you get to the other side of this, you'll see that it was for you.
That sounds like you're right on the edge, man.
Yeah.
We become convinced that healing has to take a long time. You have to work through all the shit. Where I don't really, I can't really go down that. I can't really agree with that because it's almost like every morning we're rewriting the contracts
Mm-hmm.
when we realize with this new energy that we can just not write the contracts. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and I agree with that because I think right now why I'm struggling with my soul thing is because and she says that stop trying to do it with the mind. That's exactly what I'm doing. She's like, you have to resonate with your soul, not think your way there. Your brain can't put the words in of what soul is and what the inner energy is.
yeah,
And that's I think I'm just stuck in my head. I'm trying to think my trying to think my way through it, and that's not
you'll never
how.
do that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because your heart is saying fucking run. And
Hmm.
your head is going, but there's so much energy when we're together. And when
Hmm.
you know what I mean? So your heart is never going like, yes, let's go back. Let's try it. Like, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Or, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, yeah. So this process is going to increase the volume of your heart and lower the volume of this monkey mind. So at
Okay.
least you're in balance. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like really, that's all you need to do is just be in balance. And
That's what
then
I'm working on.
you're
Yeah.
able to trust your heart. But
Hmm.
when the heart's whispering and the mind is screaming, that's not in balance. You can't
Yeah.
even hear the guidance, let alone trust it.
You're
So
so right because that's what I've been trying to do is work with my heart, like, and that's where the soul is, right? Like that's where they talk about your soul's in the
yeah,
heart
yeah,
area,
chest area, yeah,
chest area. And so, like, what she says is that the brain is that's an addiction. That your other self is an addiction to your brain. And
yes,
so I'm battling the addiction. So I'm
yes,
getting there with my heart, but the addiction overrides it.
yep.
It's so much stronger.
Well, we're just gonna clear everything up and reset you. Let's get you reconnected to your higher self so
Okay.
this shit can stop.
Yeah. The other thing that Kimberly wanted me to tell you, which is so funny, I really been guided to you, like resonated really hard with you. Like your videos don't usually come up in my feed,
Hmm.
but they have recently, and I was just like, I don't really drawn to you. And then it's funny because Kimberly also sent me to this person on YouTube that has um light language. So, and she has videos that exactly what I've been dealing with. And so it's been very helpful. So I went there first and then I got drawn to you. And it's funny because I told Kimberly the other day, I said, oh, she has this light language video that talks about Palladians.
Hmm.
And I said, I really resonated with it. And she's like, oh, you got to tell Case
Yeah,
that
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. No, that's.
she goes,
I mean,
that's Case.
yeah, I mean, I don't go around saying, "Hey, man, I'm a Pleiadian that came back to be here."
Uh-huh.
But if I look at my life
Hmm.
and I look at these crazy events that happen in my life, and they're all connected to the Pleiades,
Mm.
and it's just like I would have to be stupid to not see how these events all have it's the universe is obviously been trying to tell me something forever,
Yeah, me
and
too.
um I finally got it. So yeah, do you have any questions before we do this?
Um, the only, I mean, because I guess the only question, I think it helped me when I booked the session about it really seemed like it resonated with what you do to oh, okay. The other thing I want to tell you is, oh, I do have a question.
Shoot.
So I have been feeling a lot of electricity in my feet. And I've been trying to figure out why. So the past couple months, I've been trying to figure out why. And I went back and back and back about like, when did this start? What is this? I don't and I tried to ask Kimberly about it.
Mhm.
And I realized that I'm pretty sure. So here's the connection with you and I. I'm pretty sure this started after when we were at the Disclosure Fest and I'm gonna say you did your little thing that you you did on me. You
Oh
gave me
yeah,
a little
yeah, yeah, yeah.
sample.
I remember you sat down and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think it kind of started back then. So I think you opened a can of worms or something for me. And do you know that after you did that, 5 days later, I broke up with him.
Beautiful. Well, we're gonna
And
get that shit
so
permanent now.
yeah. And so my electricity has been, so I've been meditating a lot because I've been going through I have been
Yeah.
going through it bad and I've been meditating a lot. And I realized when I'm meditating, I notice the tingling in my feet more and more in my room. And when I meditate, it starts doing my whole body. There was
Yes.
at one point the electricity was so insane. I'm like, am I gonna levitate? Like, what the hell's going
Yeah,
on with
yeah,
me?
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
That's
then
awesome.
I watched one of your lives and I'm like, okay, let me lay down and I'll do it and see if I feel anything. Cause I used to like, I'm like, Kimberly, do you really feel anything? Like, I don't, with case, whatever. And I
Mhm.
mean, she, all case. And so I did one and it was so insane electricity. And it was so funny because I had the phone by my left ear and
Mhm.
my left ear was on fire. And I was like, I look over and your hand is like right by the phone. I'm like, I need to move my phone. Case is too strong for me. And then the girl that you were doing the session with, she talked about her left ear too. I'm like, okay, you can't make this shit
Yeah, you
up.
can't make this shit up. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's where I'm meant to be. Like my next step is be, do a session with Case. And so it was just the synchronicities have been insane of with you and how like this journey for the past year, I feel like you were at the start of it.
Awesome. Well, hopefully I will wrap you up in a little bow and you can go on and you can just crush the rest of your life and actually
Yes.
see after you break free from this, multidimensional ancestral friggin' contract,
Uh-huh.
um, then you can actually draw someone in your life that deserves you,
Yeah,
someone
for
that
sure. That would be
supports
great.
you and will like grow with you.
Yeah.
And you cannot attract that now
Yeah.
because you're, all tied up
Yeah.
with,
True.
learning
Yeah.
this lesson. So
Yeah.
um, may the flow of synchronicity just come in so strong and just like lead you to wherever you're supposed to be, man.
Yeah. That would be great.
Well, that's the goal. That's the goal. Do you have any more questions?
I think that was it. So basically it's just what you do is like reconnect me to the soul being of myself, right? Is that what you do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically what I'm doing is we have, say we're
Hmm.
playing a video game. Your oversoul chooses the game.
Mm,
You are the character in the game. We're supposed to have a remote control. Your higher self has a remote control, but it's not working.
mm.
So you're just
Interesting.
like lost. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Why is this? I don't understand any of this shit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, I don't get it. And your higher self, the remote control isn't working. So this process fixes that remote control so that guidance from the higher dimension of you can
Hmm.
come in. And when it comes in, like I said, these 3D feelings with this person will
Hmm.
feel juvenile.
Mm.
Anyway, you got the metaphor, right? You
Yeah,
got
yeah, no, it's a good way to put it. Helps me understand it.
okay. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to unfold this table. I'm going to picture you on the table.
Hmm.
I'll look up at you every once in a while. But
Okay.
we all have our physical bodies have energy points and meridian lines all throughout them. So I'm going to hit very specific energy points, all of your meridian lines, and it's so I know what I'm doing, but how me doing this is actually repairing this remote control with your higher self. I can act like I know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I'm actually doing it and I'm watching the people, it's like, how is this happening? You know what I mean? I mean, I
Mm.
can feel it. Feels like I got
Yeah.
a beam of light coming through my mind, through my hand. I can
Uh-huh.
feel the points as I'm doing it,
Oh wow.
but still, it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how
Yeah.
is this happening? So I'm just big on what happens to your life afterwards, and it's something happens,
Hmm.
like there is this new ease, this new trust, this new owning of what's best for you, and so
Okay.
see what happens.
Okay. And then will it help with that like the energy? My is that normal? Because I'm like, maybe I have a medical problem,
No, no,
but
no, don't go down that rabbit hole with the
okay.
medical problem thing.
Okay.
Because
Does it go away? Or do I need to like ground it out? Like what
I
happens
don't
with
think
it?
it. Do you have a problem with it other than
Um,
worrying that it's a physical?
yeah, I don't have a problem with it, but it seems like the past like week it's getting more intense and more intense and
Hmm.
you know,
Did it get more
uh
intense after you set up the appointment?
when I was thinking about doing the appointment,
Yeah. Yeah.
ever since I
Well,
was
when
like,
you were thinking about doing it, it had already happened. Like
yeah,
once you started thinking about it, there's no turning back. It was just a
okay,
matter of time before you were like, Kim, should I do this? She's like, do it. Like there is no time. So your higher self knew the second you started thinking about this that it was going to happen. So will it go away? Do you want it to go away?
um, it doesn't. I don't mind when like I'm meditating because I think it like it helps me know that I'm on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't know. I think it kind of just sometimes makes me nervous because sometimes it gets really strong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not an all day thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really trying to be vigilant about watching it when it happens.
So yeah, you should do that because to me, because these feelings for me, they never turn off, but
Okay.
they do fluctuate with intensity.
Oh,
And when
okay.
they become crazy strong,
Uh-huh.
I have learned that there is a reason. And something beyond my understanding is happening in that moment. Last night, Friday night is me and my family's night to watch a movie. And
Okay.
so my kids pick uh, which I knew it would suck. I don't know why I even watched it. Moana 2. Like, I'm
Oh,
like, dude, Moana 2, there's so many good shows to watch in Moana 2. So we start watching Moana 2, and the feeling in my palms, the feeling in my hands was berserko. It was as strong as I've ever felt in my entire life. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching Moana, and the whole time I'm like, I'm giving somebody a session.
mhm.
I don't know what's going on, but it was insane. So, I mean, it was, so I guess my point is like, yes, start becoming conscious of
Mhm.
like what you were thinking or what you were doing when it intensifies because that is there. I do think there's a communication.
Okay, it's definitely I'm dealing with the twin flame connection when it's happening.
No, I didn't say that. Uh,
Oh,
I didn't say no. No. I didn't say twin flame at all.
no, no, no. I'm saying is I have been recognizing that when it happens, I'm either thinking about him, thinking about the work, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, even if it's just like, okay, let me go meditate with my soul, let me go work on my soul. So it's
Yeah.
anything connected with what my inner work that I'm doing right now.
Okay. Okay.
That's when it
Perfect. Okay.
intensifies.
Okay. Good. Okay. Good. And that's the universe saying, fucking keep going.
Mm,
I
hmm.
would say that's the universe saying, fuck this guy. But, but
Yeah.
the way to fuck this guy is to continue to heal.
Yeah,
And
keep going. So it's like a sign to keep
yeah.
going and do my work.
But
Okay.
before we do this,
Uh-huh.
I want you to consider this your last, the last process that you take part in before you're good. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like
Yeah,
I
that'd be
don't want to
great.
like when we get done, I don't want you to be like, okay, what do I do next?
Yeah.
It's like, no, you'll know what to do.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like we do have to put a limit on. I mean, you said you started your awakening in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So you started waking up and you started, researching more and being drawn to this new information? Well, it's been 8 years.
Yeah. Oh no, I know.
Oh,
I'm
we're
loving it.
good.
And I do feel like, and it's I love that you say that because I really truly feel like I'm on the edge.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's stopping me is my brain.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think my way there and I can't push
Yeah.
through. But
Oh
I
my
know that
God.
I'm right there.
One of my favorite quotes of all times. I think it was like one of my it was like my fifth video. And I started off with this quote, come to the edge. And the people were like, we can't. We're afraid. And he goes, come to the edge. And they're like, but I can't. I'll fall. And he says, come to the edge. And so they came and he pushed them and they
Mm.
flew. And I was like, oh my God. So you're getting ready to fly. You're on the
Ha-
edge. I'm gonna
Have you
push you over and you're gonna
okay.
fly the fuck away.
Have you seen Wicked?
I have not.
Because
I would have rather
okay.
seen Wicked than Moana 2.
Okay.
Like that's yeah.
So that's what one of the characters did. And I keep telling myself, so when I watched that movie, I had the biggest aha moment of like, I have this message constantly saying, just jump, you'll fly, you'll be fine. Just jump, you'll be fine.
Yes.
Fly like Elphaba in the Wicked movie.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Hmm.
It was so funny because I'm watching Moana 2 and Moana kept having like these encounters and she was getting these drops of wisdom from her mom and from her grandma and shit. And my kids kept making fun of the wisdom. They're like, "Oh my God, that is the worst advice ever." And I was thinking, and like some of the advice was trust yourself. Only you. And then my kids are like, that is the worst. And I'm like, oh my God, that's my whole game. Like that's my whole life. Like that's all I
Right?
do is help
Yeah,
people trust themselves. So I think
that's hilarious.
that is funny. Okay, well, get ready and
Okay.
just give me like a couple minutes to get this table ready. Okay, first session is complete. That is a serious collection of Star Wars.
I I told you.
I didn't
But
see the full spectrum until you pulled the camera
looked.
back and it was
Yeah. It's been like 10 years. I call them my trophies. So
like nice. Did you have any sensations?
I did. So of course my feet were like super active all over the place. I had some kind of same sensations in my hands. At one point I felt like there was like a laser beam going through the top of my head. But the really one that was like scared me was not scared me, but I had a lot of some pressure like in my belly button, but on my chest. Oh my goodness, it was so tight, like I had bowling balls sitting there,
Wow.
and I was trying to breathe really heavy through it because it was
Yeah.
just like an
Wow.
elephant sitting on me. Yeah, it was
Wow.
crazy.
Like a very specific point or like the whole chest?
Like like right in between like the breast area.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was like a bowling ball. I was trying to like push away the bowling
Yeah.
ball, you know.
Like your heart, basically.
Oh, my heart. I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh my God, I have pain in my chest. But I'm like, no, 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 that's not
Yeah,
what
no,
it
no,
is, you
this is
know.
good. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's the pressure that you've been feeling forever to
Yeah.
like, open that heart up.
Yeah. And that's what I felt like it was too.
Yeah.
And then always the face. I don't know what it is. Like when it first started, it's the eyes. I just can't control those eyes,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
always
the twitches in my face.
for somebody that's actually doing the work,
Uh-huh.
as soon as you see those involuntary movements in the face, you're like, okay, it's showtime. Like
Yeah, right.
we're
Okay, it's
all here.
real.
We're all ready, right? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, awesome. Awesome. Did you have any you see any colors or anything?
Um, no, I don't think I saw color. Yeah, I'm not very visual like that. And I think I was just concentrating so hard on my chest that,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I don't think I saw any colors.
Okay. I mean, not that it matters, but I'm
Uh,
always curious if
yeah.
people see visions or colors
Hmm.
or smells or anything like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I did. Yeah.
So was the pressure in your heart, I mean, did it start right off the bat or was it
No, it was definitely the eyes for a while. And then the other thing I could tell too was every time something would happen, I would focus on it, and then I kind of would, like, I was resisting it or taking myself out. And then I'd
Hmm.
be like, go back to meditating, go back to meditating.
Yep.
And I feel it again, and I get focused on wherever it was at. You know what I mean? So I kind of was
Yeah.
battling myself a lot, you
Yeah,
know.
that's okay. Well, luckily, there's nothing that you can do to stop it.
Mm.
There's nothing you can do to be like, oh man, I think I messed it up by thinking of what I had to get for dinner tonight at the store. Like, nope, that's not going to stop anything.
Okay, good.
I'm kind of actually happy to hear that you had that tremendous pressure in your chest.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I know that sounds weird.
Yeah,
I'm happy that you were in fear that you had this pressure in your chest,
yeah.
but that's I don't know. For some reason, it just feels really symbolic
Oh,
for
for sure.
for
Yeah.
you and what you're going through.
Well, and I kept trying to say, I want to connect with my soul. I want to connect with my soul. And so, like, shortly thereafter is when I started really feeling that pressure. And then what was weird was like on the belly button, it felt like someone was like putting their hand and like pushing down on me.
Mm,
Um, and then it would go back to my heart. So it's kind of like that happened twice in my belly button, but it would like do it for a minute and then it would go back to my heart with the pressure. And then towards the end, the pressure was just getting more intense, more intense, more intense. So
okay. And so you never felt that before.
not like that. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the ringing in the ears or the heat in the ears, any of that?
I didn't have there was like just one time like a zap or something like that, but not like
Okay.
before
Not
with
like
the
on
release.
the live thing.
Uh-huh. Uh-uh.
Okay. Perfect. In my opinion, this is going to be the final thing for you to finally break
And
free.
it's funny that you say that because when I was like going back to the whole when we were at Disclosure Fest, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, it's like I'm coming full circle. Like he started this, and I'm coming back to
And I'm going to
like
close it. We're going to
nice,
close
yeah,
it right here. We're going to close
nice.
that shit. So you broke up with him 5 days after.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's perfect. I remember one time, and I'll never forget her. She came in and she was drawn to having this reconnection done. A week later, she gives me a call, and within a week, she had filed for divorce, quit her job, and moved out.
Oh my gosh,
And I'm
wow.
like, the trifecta, dude, of like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Mm,
And so I naively thought that something negative happened
mm,
because her marriage of 30 years, her her safe job,
mm,
and her living situation were all thrown in turmoil. And then I run into her months later, and that was the greatest week of her. And looking back,
mm,
the relationship was unhealthy, the job environment was unhealthy, like everything
mm,
in her life was toxic.
mm,
And when we did that reconnection, she couldn't deal with that shit anymore.
mm.
I'm done. I don't care what happens. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
and so I realized like, wow, you know, that's what happens.
Mhm.
Everything that is unhealthy with you, it becomes crystal clear. It's unhealthy and juvenile almost.
Yeah,
You like the little juvenile shit things we do. So
yeah, that'd be great.
yeah, yeah. You have a great rest of your day, Michelle, and
Thank you. You too.
I will meet you in a couple days.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
All
peace.
right, bye.
It's getting kinda crazy up in here. Got that DJ playing music everybody wants to hear, yeah. It's getting kinda crazy up in here. Everybody wants a ride.